ReefDudes is sponsored by Ecotech Marine and Bulk Reef Supply.
Today we're going to learn how to fix a Neptune Trident. Hi guys, Devin from ReefDudes. So there's many reasons that your Trident can start to have errors over time. There could be something clogged in the lines, it could be the vials clogged, it could be solenoid sticking. Those are what I find are the issues 90% of the time. So today we're going to go over kind of how to fix that. And we're going to start by popping out our reagents. And if you have the original caps, it's always a good time to pop these on. And once you have the liquids out, we can flip it over to the bottom and we're going to unscrew these 4 little feet. And they are the screws, so you could just spin them. Usually once you get it going with your finger, the rest will pop off fairly easy. And from there, you can pop off the cover. And this is pretty easy. You just pull it from the sides and it will kind of lift up and pop off. Then we have nice, easy access to the rest of it. So, I'd say if your Trident's been sitting for a while, there's a good chance your lines are clogged. And now to check that, kind of one thing that I usually do is take your sample line for starters and use a syringe. I'm just gonna push some RODI water through it. This is just a little F-Aptasia one, but any test kit one generally works. And I'm just gonna put the output into a bowl. And we're just going to force a bit of water through the sample line to make sure it's free flowing. Now the black is your sample and the clear one is your wastewater. So already that just broke off. So that tells me this was a clogged sample line. So that's likely what the issue was on this guy. So if you have a clogged sample line, usually if you can work it through your fingers, so just pull it in here. And just kind of pull it through there, and if there's any kind of crusties inside, it will help break it up. All right, so now that I've done that, let's try pushing water through it again. Okay, and now it is free flowing through it. Okay, so there's a good chance that was our issue, but we already have it open, so we're gonna go through the rest of it. Now, if that still didn't fix it, we can go a step further and pop it out and test the line all the way from the unit, but usually it's kind of earlier in the route. To do that, you just squeeze these 2 sides and the rest of it will pop off. The second issue I see probably most common is if a solenoid sticking. You can test this just by pushing these with your finger, and if they move smoothly, you know you're in a good spot. If one is really hard or stuck, that's probably your issue. And usually just working it is enough to get it going. I have had once where I have had to pop it out, and to do that, you can see there's just a little tab in the back you can push and the whole solenoid will pop out. And then there's 4 screws on it. You can just take it apart and just use a Q-tip to clean the inside and reassemble it, and that has fixed it in the past for me. Now, if your Trident is a few years old and you haven't ever maintained it, there's also a chance these hoses could be worn out. The ones that are inside the pinch valve, they can be replaced. Looking at these ones, they don't look pinched or deformed, so these ones all look good. Now we're gonna pop out the front of it and clean the cuvette, so you just pull it apart and it will pop down. You can see it's definitely a bit milkier. So that milkiness will affect the colorimeter and mess with your readings, so it very well could make your results be a little bit off. So a pretty simple fix. We're just going to take out the little magnetic pill. Careful not to lose it, or you could leave it in there, but take some Q-tips and RO water and just give it a good old scrub. And you can kind of get that nasty buildup on there. Do that, and we'll go through a couple of Q-tips until they come out nice and clean. And if you do take your magnetic pill out, just make sure you put it back in, because without it, it's not gonna work. Now, a very important thing, if you do take this off and take it apart, there's a red wire on the top, that goes to the top of it. If you put it on upside down, you could risk shorting it out and frying the board, and then you're a bit buggered on that one. Now to install it, we just slide it back in, split the frame, and slide it up into place. And since I got this off, I am just gonna disconnect the source of the black tube where it connects to the Trident, and I'm just going to flush water from here just to make sure that the complete sample line is free and unclogged. Okay, that's flowing smoothly, so we're looking good. Now, if you reassemble it now with all these steps and you're still receiving an error, the next step that I would do is take apart this again, and there's a little manifold in the middle, and flush that out. I've done it in the past where I completely flushed out each direction of it and reassembled it, and that's fixed any outstanding issues. Now I think we are in a happy place so we can reassemble this. So this will snap back onto the base. Now again, if your Trident is, a few years old and you've never done the maintenance kit, it is worth either sending it in or getting the DIY maintenance kit, just because that gives you the new pump heads and those little hoses, and you can replace all those little tubes that will wear out over time. And just the little hoses, there's a piece of tape there that goes on the side, and we can pop our cover back on. And once it's reassembled, you can reinstall your feet, which is just those 4 little screw feet on the bottom. And we can reinstall our reagents. So it is just that easy to maintenance the Trident, and that's going to solve about 90% of the common issues I see. Your no water sample, the test A, B, C, whatever failed. So it's a little bit of maintenance. It goes a long way. Now, if you found this useful, you want to support the channel, be sure to use my links in the description to pick up your reagents. Again, that helps me out a bit. Otherwise, guys, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button, you're new, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Happy testing.